The first night in the cabin was colder than I expected. Not in temperature, but in sensation. The kind of cold that seeps into your bones despite the fire burning strong. My uncle had died suddenly, leaving me the place in his will. It sat alone at the edge of a dense forest, untouched and unnaturally quiet. As I unpacked, the silence outside was so thick, I found myself checking the windows just to reassure myself I hadn't gone deaf. Around midnight, I heard it. It wasn't the howl of wind or the call of an owl. It was softer, more human, faint sobbing. At first, I thought it was my mind playing tricks on me, a long day, an eerie place. But then the sobs turned into whispers. They drifted in from the woods like smoke, curling around the cabin, pressing against the walls. I stepped outside with a flashlight, unsure why my feet moved before my thoughts could catch up. The trees loomed tall and unmoving, but there was a pulse in the air. Not wind, not animals, a rhythm. The forest was breathing, slow, heavy, and steady. With every inhale, the branches quivered. With every exhale, the dirt beneath my boots trembled slightly. Then I heard my name, not shouted, whispered, as if the trees themselves were murmuring it through rustling leaves. They stretched it out, fragile yet deliberate. You're home. A chill stabbed through my spine. I turned to run, but my legs faltered. My flashlight flickered, and in that split-second darkness, I saw shapes in the tree line. Not animals, not men, something in between, watching me, waiting. I slammed the cabin door shut behind me, locked it, and checked it 3 times over. I didn't sleep that night. The whispers continued until dawn. Just before the sun rose, I swear I heard a final whisper, clear and sorrowful. Don't sleep, Eli. You're almost ready. I didn't know what that meant. Not then, but deep in my chest, something old, something buried, stirred. Like the name they spoke wasn't just a name. It was a trigger, and the forest remembered me the next morning. I convinced myself it had all been a dream. Stress, fatigue, and the weight of sudden inheritance. But as I stepped outside, I saw something that froze the blood in my veins, boot prints. My boot prints, leading from the cabin into the forest and back again. But I hadn't left the house. At least, not consciously. I followed them. The trail led deeper into the woods, far beyond where I dared go the day before. I felt pulled, not by curiosity but compulsion, like something just beneath my skin was steering me. The air grew thicker, charged, as if the trees themselves were watching. Then I saw it. A massive oak, split at the base like it had been struck by lightning. Yet there was no burn, no char, just jagged wood and exposed roots, twisted like skeletal fingers. I don't know why I started digging. The moment I touched the soil, my hands worked on their own. I clawed until my fingers bled. That's when I found the bones. Human bones. Some old, some disturbingly fresh. But worse was what I found buried next to them. A stone slab. Moss-covered, cracked, ancient. I brushed it clean and staggered back in horror. My childhood name, Elian, carved into it in faded, crude letters. Below it, return to the roots. I hadn't heard that name since I was 6. I thought it had been a nickname, something my parents made up, but now it felt foreign. Older than me, older than them. As I stood trembling, the trees around me groaned, and from their roots, small shapes began to rise, bones, totems, dolls made of twine and teeth. That night, the voices returned louder, more desperate. You've awakened them. They wept. You dug too deep, Elian. Every hour, something scratched at the cabin walls. The floor creaked under invisible weight. In the mirror, I caught glimpses of boy, not me, but familiar, staring back with dirt in his mouth and leaves growing from his eyes. I tried to burn the slab. It wouldn't catch fire. I tried to leave. The forest had no exit. And still the voices came. Don't sleep. You belong to the roots. Now I haven't slept in 4 days. Not properly. Not safely. Because every time I do, even for a minute, I wake up closer to the earth. It started subtly. A patch of moss on my pillow. Dirt under my fingernails. Then worse. Soil in my mouth. Twigs in my bed. One night, I woke up with bark pressed against my spine. Not a dream, not an illusion. The floorboards had grown over me, like roots reclaiming one of their own. I scream, but no one hears me. There's no phone signal, no roads out. The forest reshapes itself. I walk in one direction for hours and always end up back at the split oak. The voices don't whisper anymore. They wail. They beg, not for help, but for obedience. They plead, "Don't sleep, Elian. They'll take you back." We tried to stop it before, but the forest always reclaims its children. The mirrors in the cabin show another world now. Not reflections, memories. Maybe rituals, fires. I see children standing in circles. I see my own young face watching as something faceless, rises from the ground beneath the oak. It speaks in sounds older than language, and all the children fall to their knees. I don't remember this, but the forest does. That name, Elian Core, it wasn't a nickname. It was a title, a role, something inherited, something ancient. I belonged to the forest once. Maybe I still do. My parents must have taken me away, hidden me in the city, tried to erase it all. But blood remembers. And now that I've returned, the forest is finishing what it started. I tried tying myself to a chair to stay awake. I still woke up half-buried. I tried clawing my own name off the stone tablet. The bark grew over it again. Now I sit on the floor, eyes wide open, heart racing. The walls groan like lungs. The roots have started creeping up through the cracks. I know they're waiting for me to blink. One of the voices just whispered something new. You don't have to sleep, just surrender. And I think I already have, because the forest doesn't whisper anymore. It calls. And I can't remember why I was ever afraid.